Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rekak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone, and peace and salutations to the elect of the nation of Israel, starting up with the 144,000. And you also have a lot of the elect here in America, which was a large multitude of believers, which will include men, women, and children that will be saved on the side. In America, 2/3 of all people will be destroyed here in America. You have the rebels that will be scattered abroad, that will be destroyed. You also have the rebels that will be saved, that will be scattered abroad as well, of you tribes, right? Who the world willingly and ignorantly still calls black, Hispanic, Native American, Puerto Rican, Dominican, Jamaican, Haitian, Guatemalans, Panamanians, Cubans, right? We are the Israelites, contrary to what everybody wants to believe. The Lord is breaking up his elect these latter days. Right? I'm your brother Yaramia. Come back at y'all with a quick lesson from Natural News. As y'all can see, it says China's C-19 nightmare returns. Students isolated. Deaths hidden as regime. Salaki, if I said that wrong, doubles down on total. I don't even know how to pronounce that. I can't get off my tongue right now. Policies. But this ain't nothing new, man. The Lord did warn of plagues. And it's gonna be more. And there's been plagues since the first one in 2020. There's been more than one plague, but they haven't really went on full lockdown since 2020, but best believe they could do this again with run the same playbook back. There's gonna be even more than this, but the Lord warns us of this. We're not thrown off by this. We're not unaware that this is going on. We're not surprised, right? This is 2nd Esdras 16 in the let me see, verse 5. It says, plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? Right? May any man drive away an hungry lion in the wood? Or may anyone quench the fire in the stubble when it hath begun to burn? I mean, no. Just like these plagues. These plagues, like I said, they haven't really stopped since 2020. Right? There's been one after one after one. But the world wasn't completely locked down. After they completely, pretty much, I wouldn't say gave up on it, but they completed their mission for that time being. It's not mandatory for you to wear masks. They're not pushing the jump shots like they was, but they could do this again. And and people, I don't think people will fall as easily for it. Especially if they do the same exact thing, but they're going to have to come with more strategic measures. They're going to have to come down with that hammer. Right? It says, may one turn again the arrow that is shot at a strong archer. Right? The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away? See, like I said, these plagues, these diseases, these pestilences, they're not going nowhere. They here to stay. And that's why this man he's running the same playbook. He's doing it for a reason. Right? To get you to comply to what he wants you to do, right? Like I said, they got most of the world. Most people they went for the bait. But I don't think it will be as easy, because a lot of things have been exposed, a lot of things have been put to the light, so to speak, about what they was doing. But a lot of it's I feel like it's I'm speaking as a man, it's too late for a lot of people. A lot of you jakes, man. Y'all didn't bit the bait. Y'all took the jump shot, right? Y'all did everything this man wanted you to do to keep your job, to keep from being an outcast. We didn't give a damn about that at all. This is Luke 12, in verse 2. It says, for there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. So, like I said, with everything being exposed, everything being put to the light, like I said, I don't think it'll be as easy if they do this the exact same way. They gonna have to tweak it or something, like have a different strain come out. Like I said, which they've had different strains and all that, but it wasn't getting the same traction. So that's why I'm saying it could work, but they're gonna have to come out with some other plague other than the C19. But the fact that they're doing this again is showing you that the Lord He's using these plagues, right? Which, if they do say C19, people fall for it. Y'all just fucking idiots. Y'all was idiots the first time you did anyway. You're scared of this, man. Hey, we not fearing Esau, man. We fearing Yahweh Shemel Shai. That's who we fear, right? But these plagues, these pestilences, they're big indicators that our Lord's coming back. That He's going to return pretty soon, right? And it always starts in China first, right? That's what they say. It always starts in China. That's what they did when 2020 happened. Oh, it started in China. It started in the Wuhan lab or wherever they said. I remember like it was yesterday, man. I feel like, speaking as a man, there was like a time shift. Like the Lord sped everything up when that happened. Because it never happened before in our lifetime. The whole world didn't shut down because of that. Because of a disease out there, running rapid, so-called. That's never happened in this time. So it definitely changed a lot of things. This is Matthew 24 in verse 7. It says, "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there should be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrow." So, we've been in the beginning of sorrow state, man. Plagues, pestilences happening, right? And we're going to see, where they go with this. We're going to see, right? But you see how they say it? They say right here in this article, it says, as the world moves on from the pandemic era, China remains trapped in a cycle of fear, right? But they, like I said before, they've came out with different strains and stuff since then. So the fact that they're gonna only run the same playbook if you falling for it. But people over here in America, they have seen, what's really going on, even though they already took the jump shot. So they're gonna have to come super hard. They're gonna really have to tweak the plague, man. They're gonna really have to manipulate it to really, cause other effects that you could see. Like they didn't try the monkeypox. Like we didn't see a lot with this man. So, it ain't gonna be surprising to see more plagues and more weird stuff. We've already seen it. So that's how if you fall for any other thing that comes out. It don't matter how much worse they say the plague is. How bad it looks, man. You just an idiot, and the Lord ain't dealing with you. That's all that is. The Lord's only dealing with His elect, and it ain't gonna, these plagues and stuff, it ain't gonna affect the Lord's elect like that. We still susceptible to sicknesses and illnesses and all that, but the Lord's gonna keep you. He's gonna keep you. You're gonna see through the bullshit, right? And we do see through it. This is Psalms 90, right? Psalms 90, one of my favorite scriptures, or 91, right? This is verse 1. It says, "He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty," which the secret place is this truth, right? Which the shadow is the covering, right? You're gonna be protected by the Lord's angels, right? "I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my power, Yahweh Shemel Shai, in Him will I trust. Surely He shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence," right? We gonna be delivered from these things. We was the first time. So it ain't gonna be no different this go around. Like I said, these devils, man, they don't have no wisdom, because even though, China, they're Moabites, Esau, he runs the world, so he's telling these Moabites what to do to, keep them in subjection. But they use China as a model for a lot of things that they want to do for the whole entire world, because, it just works. So they're going to keep doing that, But it ain't going to work over here in Babylon, because people are more freedom to do certain things, more freedom and access to look up certain things and actually know what's going on. A lot of these countries like China, Korea, and all that, they can't really say a lot of stuff. They can't really do a lot of stuff that people over here in Babylon, America can do, right? As far as research and, you know, and rebel and kind of get away with it. But eventually it's going to get to the point to where you're going to be able to do that at all here in American Babylon, because they crack it down over here too as far as non-compliance is concerned. But that's what I'm saying, like, we're not fearing these plagues, man. We know what's going on. And they're going to have some pushback if they try the same exact playbook with C19, it ain't going to work. It ain't going to work. That's why they're going to have to tweak something. They can still call it the same name, I guess. But they idiots if they do that. You know? But these Babylonians, they too damn dumbed down to really do anything unless it affects them, their everyday life. Like, if it affects if the people can't go to work, people can't get fed or money, it's going to have to get that bad for people to actually try to do something. If they didn't do that after all this time, then, yeah, you know, Esau going to have to do something like that drastic for people to fight back. Because people over here, they just too pacified and too dumbed down. Right? So, you know, we're not ignorant of this man's devices. Right? You know, but they could also be like that. We in a time to where, like, you know, they could be like, well, if you didn't take this new virus that's here, you know, that's similar to C19, and all those that didn't take the jab, you're the problem. They were saying that the first time, but they could be like, they could make it mandatory to where, like, they could tell you it's spreading throughout the U.S. again, and people that didn't take it, you know, they're the problem. And they could be like, if you don't take it, you can't enter in this store and enter that store. They might make it mandatory everywhere. They could do something like that. And people, they're going to take it. I thought people are going to take it then because they ain't going to have no other choice, because they don't trust in Yahweh Shem Shai. But we do. So, you know, these plagues, we're not fearing them. We're not fearing what they're going to do to us. We don't care. All right? So, keep the faith. You know, keep trusting in Yahweh Shem Shai. These things were already written to happen. Right? China is they're the main example of how Esau wants to have everything set up in the position that he wants people in. He wants you to own nothing, be happy, and totally depend on him. Right? But you know, that's it. I just want to do a quick video. You know, basically Esau trying to run the same playbook, man. You know, he's an idiot. But with that, I'm gonna close out. I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kagodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Till next time, I want to say, Abba Shalom.